We are now live.
How long have we been live for?
2 seconds.
Ah. Good morning. You can probably hear me. We don't think you can see me. The tech team is working
Get the comments up.
very busily behind the scene to try and bring you pictures. Or maybe there are pictures, and maybe it's our screen that's not working. So if you can see, then please let us know in the comments. But we don't think you can. If you can hear me and you're enjoying just listening, drop me a comment. Say, Josh, your dulcet tones are still enjoyable to listen to, even without being able to see you. Joe is very hurriedly trying to figure out why there is no visuals. We should give him another minute, and then we shall cease and try again. There's no visuals. And today we're going to be looking at the new Roland Garros. I'm very excited to show you, but unfortunately, no screen, no show. It's like show and tell without the show, just the tell. So we've got an orange one, a blue one, and a white one. I think they look quite good. Joe doesn't like how they look. Sean also doesn't like how they look. Oh, you can see me again, or again for the first time. Good morning, everybody. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know, as well as where you're watching from, what rackets you use. And I'm especially interested in Wilson users today. Those that use the blade, the clash, and the shift, because we have the new Roland Garros versions. You can see them slyly hidden to my right, which I'll get them out very soon. As always, drop us any comments you like, any questions. This is your time to ask myself, and Joe is here in the room with me. Any questions on our personal preferences between strings, or advice when you're switching rackets, or, I mean, we've answered all sorts of things about stringing machines to, I don't know, everything. So any tennis related questions, of course, let me know. I can't see your comments yet. Joseph is still in the process of organising that. But very soon I'll be able to see your comments, and then I'll be able to reply to you all. Even before I show you the Roland Garros rackets, I believe we have a special discount today on them. So if you're in the UK and you use a blade, shift, or clash, and the specific version which I will highlight to you very shortly, there will be an extra discount code for you, which I believe has just been posted in the chat. I can't see the chat, so I don't know. So keep asking me questions, keep saying good morning and all that nice stuff. I shall also say good morning back to you when I know who you are. But at the moment I am completely blind. I'm just riffing along as we go. But let's start anyway. This is the new Roland Garros Wilson Clash. And there's a texture on the outside of all of these that you can see here. Very nice. My first impressions, I think it's really nice. I think it'll look great on the clay, which is obviously what they're kind of designed for. My issue with this sort of thing when the brands make tournament-specific rackets is the tournament brand takes over too much. Especially here, I mean, in France, maybe Roland Garros has like a huge cult following. People want to have that stamp. But I think you can get away with something like this, just a nice Roland Garros logo, that's fine, I can get on board with that. But it's the huge Roland Garros written on the inside. Is it that big a draw? Is it that bigger, oh, that's what I really want? Or is it really designed just to sell in the shop during the 2 weeks of Roland Garros? And the few that are around outside of that maybe aren't supposed to be so good. But anyway, I think the new black and red clash looks really good. Probably would be my preference over this. However, not a bad one. Not bad from Wilson. Similar colour to last year. I guess it's like a sandy beige. So yeah, what do people think? Well, let me know in the comments that I can't see. Oh, I can see.
You can
well,
see.
it's very small.
Well, it's very small, yeah.
It's giving me Sam Beige V-Core vibes. Exactly. Morning, Chris. Morning, Adam. Morning, Dimitri. The same as 2024 version. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it hasn't changed loads. This is the shift. This is the Session de Soirée, as it's called. Again, a limited edition release. They've got navy. Again, similar to last year. And this one, I think, better in terms of having less Roland Garros branding. Obviously, if you're already into Roland Garros branding, then you'll love it. But yeah, we just have a little Roland Garros stamp here on the side. Other than that, we just have a nice solid navy blue option. The one thing that I am kind of into, which Wilson showed me recently when I went to see the new blue one that's coming, is on the back of their place cards now. You can see that. I'll let you have some time to have a little read. They are really trying to talk about the flex of their frames and the different ways of flexing. Twist, vertical and horizontal bending, and how the different rackets in their ranges flex and bend in differing ways, and how that impacts performance. So obviously the Clash has no torsional, but a lot of horizontal and vertical. And you see in the Shift here, it's now very clear that it's got a lot of spin, so it has a lot of horizontal and not so much vertical. So there you go. So that's new on the back. But yeah, here we go. What do you all think? Do you guys have any success in the bright blue US Open shifts? Nope. Still waiting. June. The Clash was reminding me of the orange ice cream, sure. They look cool. Wilson just needs better rackets aside from the blade. Fair comment, I think. Fair comment. Although I have high hopes for the new blue one. So here you go. And the blade, here it is. It's very orange. Very, very orange. It's available in the 1619. Oh, I've got Manarino over my shoulder. Huh.
They can see that.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's only available in 1619. Again, with the new SI3D information on the back of its flex points. Obviously now all about control in the blade. And yeah, here it is. So if you're bored of green and want to go orange, then this is your option. What do people think? What are our favourites between Clash, Shift and blade? Well, you can tell me your favourites to do with the actual racket if you like, or the new Roland Garros limited edition colourways, which are available now. And they're available at 10% off, so... Oh no, 15% off. They're 25% off! Jeez, we're giving them away. So yeah, if you are into them and want to be one of the first people in the UK to have one at 25% off, give it a go. Blimey. So no 1820 blade. No, they only ever released the limited editions in one frame module, so it's a 1619, which is the more popular one, and arguably the one that would be better suited to clay court tennis. Probably will skip all the Roland Garros versions, they are awful. Thanks, Dimitri, I appreciate your candidness. I, however, think they're not bad for playing on clay.
I'm with Dimitri.
Well, everyone seems to be with Dimitri apart from me. I'm fighting Wilson's corner here and losing the battle. So yeah, obviously I just said that it makes more sense to have the 1619 in the Roland Garros clay colourways over and above the 1820. Why is that? Same head size, same less string, means more gaps between the strings, more string movement, the ability to generate more spin, and of course clay is the top spin surface, where you need to be able to get as many revs on the ball as possible, be able to hit through that heavier court. So an open string pattern is going to help, so it makes sense that they're doing it. Personally, loving the Shift paint job more. Is that the new black one, or this beautiful new Roland Garros available today and it's 15% off? Am I trying too hard to sell it? I don't know.
That's the patch, that's the Shift.
Oh, sorry, you said Shift. Wow. It's early morning here in the UK-ish. So yeah, I agree. The Shift, obviously, I think it was my number one best looking racket. The silver Shift, obviously now in the navy here, just hits a different palette. Some people like light rackets, some people like dark rackets. If you like a Shift, you now have options of both. Who have we got here? The bag from 4 years ago, retro style, was epic. Yeah, you're right. They did a load of really good retro stuff. That was a few years ago, actually, now. But the new Wilson luggage coming at the end of this year is very strong. I saw it recently. Yeah, it's not quite retro vibes, but it's on that sort of wave.
Is that what they do? Do they actually do luggage best? If you think about those like red,
Wilson
red Wilson bags are pretty iconic.
Yeah, so red Wilson bags, interesting story. A few years ago, they didn't stop making them, but they started making bags that were based on the colours of the racket. So there was a blue one for the Ultra. There was a black one for the Pro Staff. There was a green one for the Blade. And they gave them out to all the tour players to try and really promote each silo of racket and support those rackets. But all it did was stop people realising what brand it was, because they were like, what's that blue bag over there? Is it a Babolat bag? Whereas actually, we're just giving everyone that bright red Wilson is so iconic, and then you see so many players with it that they stopped that, and which is why now so much of the luggage, all the luggage on tour is red, and that filters a lot of the luggage that we have in store is also red. Is that brand recognition piece. So yeah, there you go. Speaking of retro, we've got some cool Adidas Originals stuff coming, which isn't really retro because Adidas Originals is now a brand that they use in all their fashion lines.
We're getting it.
We are getting it. But they're actually putting the Originals logo on... Well, there's all the Wimbledon clothing the players will be wearing, we'll have it, and then also on socks and sweatbands and headbands and caps, and we have all that coming, so that's pretty cool.
Is that the trefoil, Josh? The three little leaves?
Yeah, the leaves. It's called the Original logo.
I'd take Sean's cap off and show everyone.
It's a bit sweaty. That's fine. I bought a Roland Garros blade. Swing weight was ridiculously off spec, 306. Yeah, I mean, that happens with Wilson. Although, in exciting news, they are now actively promoting that they've improved their tolerances. And I think it's starting with the new blue one, coming towards the end of this year. And that plus or minus 7 grams weight has been reduced significantly. Not quite to Yonex levels, but significantly. So, that's good. They do not make a Pro Staff version of the Roland Garros. No, they don't make a Roland Garros. I don't think they ever have made a limited edition of the Pro Staff. Pro Staff, an interesting range though. I think they're generally going to struggle for the next bit. I think obviously the RF has taken some of that market. People who were following Federer. They've dropped the X, which I thought was a really great option. So there's now just 97, 97L, and UL. So it's a small range. I think it will need updating and quite a big refresh and probably quite a lot of new tech and really try and relaunch the Pro Staff. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But I imagine that will be next year sometime. What's your favourite racket paint job in 2025? Personally, Head Gravity 2025 and the Blade. And a T-Fight. Well, they're different. So the Gravity is interesting because it's got that sort of 90s metallic-y, like star graphite. Space proper, like when graphite first came out, that sort of finish to it, which is quite smart. The Blade is okay, I guess. I don't like the orange details on the Blade. For those of you that have noticed on all the Wilson rackets, same on the new blue one, they've got bits of orange on it, which is the Wilson Labs logo. So Wilson, the brand, and they have Wilson Labs, which is where they do all their R&D, and they're basically really promoting the R&D they do and how they actually develop the rackets, and it's in-house, and that they put energy into that, and they put this orange W on all their products they have designed and remodeled to highlight that. So if you're into little bits of orange on green, then you're in luck. If not, no. Anyway, I'm trying to think what my favourite looking racket is. Maybe it's one of these new Roland Garros ones, of which we have the Shift, the Clash, and the Blade available. An extra 15% off today, 25% off. What? So yeah, but no, it's probably not those, to be fair. My favourite looking racket. So
T5.
Pretty wild, but the E-Zone has really grown on me. And when we launched the E-Zone, sorry, not when we launched it. When we first reviewed the E-Zone back in December, we released our video slightly early, although it was arguable because we actually released it at the cut-off time, Japanese time rather than UK time. But anyway, all the initial comments on Reddit, because we saw it got downloaded and put on Reddit, was all so anti the colour. And now, people can't get enough of it. So clearly Yonex knew what they were doing and the users of Reddit did not. And And yeah, I've really grown into it, so I'm a big fan. LS Fire looks so much better in person than it does in video. Yeah, I think that must be true, because no one that comes to the store goes, "Oh, that blue's awful, I'm not having it." But a lot of people online don't like what it looked like, so yeah, that's interesting. Probably by E-Zone 100L or Pure Drive team. Yeah, to be fair, someone else has to do this video, so I think we will, and it's actually to do the E-Zone 100L and 98L. And then maybe we'll throw the Pure Drive team in the mix as well for that sort of just a bit down from 300, because a lot of players do use it, and I'm sure a lot of you guys watching want more information on those sorts of weights and those sorts of rackets. So yeah, E-Zone's good. Still probably not my favourite. Anyone else got their favourite? Does anyone use their best looking racket? Does anyone choose their racket based on that and then just adapt it, try and up-spec it, try and change the strings to try and make it work for your game, but really just want it because it looks great? The E-Zone gave me early 90s vibes with that, the colour. Yeah. It's interesting. So the new the new blue one, I couldn't possibly tell you that there's a new Ultra coming. Oh no, I'm cancelled. Is a very similar blue. Platypus, that's a strong YouTube name. Is there a view on that giant E-Zone behind you? No, but there are some points that we played for some videos we did where I used a 17-inch racket, which is tiny. And I think it was Ben or Joe used that one, which is not 17 inches. I don't know how big it is. It's very big, to see what was easier to use. Turns out the small one. So there you go. But no, this is Joe's office. I've stolen it to do the live. And you can see this way he does his editing on the screen here. You can tell he's a Yonex fanboy with his little Yonex poster and his big racket.
Louis Vuitton fanboy.
And a big Louis Vuitton Rafa and Roger. You can see their little modelling sweet behind. But anyway, I digress. People are raving about the 290-gram Solinco Whiteout and Technofiber TF40 290. Are people raving about it at LS Fire? I don't know if people are raving. Some people may have commented. So to be fair, the TF40 is very good and good at what it does. The Solinco Whiteout we are receiving tomorrow. Sean shaking his head. We are receiving next week. He's pretending he's French. I don't know. Yes, we are receiving it. Other YouTubers, yes, LSFR, I understood your point. Oh, underpowered, yes, of course. But the whiteouts we're getting, along with Solinco Mac 10, and we should also have Vivo finally next week as well, which will be exciting. It's got stuck in some airport in New York for about 4 weeks, and now it's at UK Customs. Luckily, it's come in before all the tariffs. Not that we've done reciprocal tariffs yet, but I'm sure we will. We shall discuss geopolitical issues in depth on the next live.
10% tariffs.
10% tariffs for us in the UK. Thanks, Donald, for looking after us. Luckily, we don't send anything there. Alright, anyone else got any best looking rackets? I'm still trying to think. So new E-Zone I do like. Pure Drive I think is okay.
I really like the T-Fight.
The T-Fight is clean. That's nice. Another example of a brand to change colours and then have brought it back. Like I was talking about Wilson earlier with the red bags, they've done the same thing with those rackets. You can always spot a Technofiber being used. So they get that recognition when it's not being used in so many different places. Are the Roland Garros version including Wilson's easy pop-out feature on their guards? Yes, they are, even though they haven't got the different colour. They haven't gone with the Wilson Labs colour on them. Yes, on the blade you can see it there with a slightly lighter orange. Yeah, I mean, that's the first time anyone's ever commented on the pop-out grommets. People really looking at it. Best looking tennis bag, that is easy, is the new Clash bag. It's so good. And it's so good because they've been the first brand to innovate on the colour of the foil lining. No, this is niche, but it's a detail that I love. So you see, nice normal black bag, bit of red trim, you know, smart. And you open the bag. I mean, see, if we were in the shop, I could show you. You open the bag, and it's red foil, and it's like, wow, no one's ever done that before. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, I think that's a very good looking bag. The other good bags are last year's Babolat Wimbledon, which are like a sort of slightly off-white silver, so they don't get dirty, but they're just, yeah, it's a real class bag. I think they are changing for this year. They were in for 2 years. I think there's a new one coming. So hopefully it stays good. Good idea for a video on 285 to 290 grams for many hygienists we're using these rackets. Yeah, and I think that's a good point, NS Fire. It's in those sort of switchover rackets, right, of juniors coming up through the weights. There's also then a whole market of tennis players who enjoy those 280, 285, 290 gram rackets, and they still want to choose, and the rackets play very differently at those weights. So when we compare a 300 gram version of two rackets, when you drop down, sometimes it's a little different. So that's something that we can look at for sure. I'm most looking forward to doing the E-Zone, the 98L and the 100L, to see which of those is better, because we've been selling more 100s than 98s, which is kind of to be expected for adult players. But as you're saying, kind of high-level juniors, then you'd think
the V-Core options.
That'd be good. Yeah, and then you got the V-Core 98L and 100L as well. So there's a few options in Yonex at that. Generally, I found Babolat to be the best in the sort of light and team weights. But then heads rise with the MPLs, which were new a few years ago, especially in the speed. It's like their second best-selling racket or something. It's crazy. So obviously, it's an important racket. So NS Fire, I take that on board. I shall pass it on to Joseph. I think he's going to find that really nice clash bag. What racket competes against the Radical? Against Radical the Pro. The Radical Pro. So I haven't used the Radical Pro. I used the MP and really liked it. Ben loved the Radical Pro. And Joe loved the Radical Pro. Similarly, we've said before, the Pro range of rackets tends to be almost an outlier of that silo. So actually, it'd be clearer if Heads took the Radical Pro, the Extreme Pro, the Boom Pro, and made that its own like Pro silo, and the slight difference, because they're all control rackets, because they're Pro versions, they just have slightly nuanced based on what that racket's supposed to do. So actually competing against the Radical Pro, you're probably really looking at Speed Pro, obviously with slightly different head size, but Boom Pro, Extreme Pro, those are the ones you're really probably looking at. They're playing around with the clash bag. Have you got it?
Yes, there's no foil.
Oh, it's the cheaper one. So here is the clash bag that I was telling you was so nice. The outside, as you can see, pretty good. But inside, is there no foil in it at all? No. Inside, you can see we have red lining. Now, this is like a drop-down version. Joe couldn't find the top, the Tour spec. Yeah, there's like a Tour spec one, and in that one, where you normally have the foil lining, you then have it in the red. So anyway, but it gives you an idea of how it looks. I think it's pretty cool. If you have the black rackets with the red, maybe a nice red string, it's pretty good. Thanks. What were those orange rackets from earlier? This orange racket, this is the new Wilson Blade 98 16 19. Buy it now, 25% off. Use the code plus the 10% off already on the website. So our coffee machine has woken up, and I can't believe none of you bought me a coffee. Unbelievable. No coffee sponsor today.
You need to speak slower.
Much slower. Tanny, definitely a cool looking bag. I agree. I think it is a good looking bag. But yes, but these, for those of you who've missed, are the three Roland Garros versions of Wilson's rackets. We've got the Clash in the middle, Shift on your right, and Blade on your left. Same spec, same price, new colour. So Shift has gone from, well, you now have a navy. Clash, you've got like a, it's like V-Core, right? Sand beige vibes. And then the Blade, you've got orange. So if you're into orange, if you've got the Radical, then there you go, you've got that. Do you offer online racket advice, Blackbird? This is my online racket advice. So if you have specific questions about what you're using at the moment, what you want to try, give me some information, age, how often you play, what surface you play and what racket you use at the moment, what you want more of, what spin setup, what string setup you like. Give me all of it and I can see what I can do for you. But this is your chance to as if you were in store with me now. Not that I'm in store, I'm next door in the, we call it the dungeon, but really it's just Joe's editing suite. Clash is like classic John McEnroe colour. Yeah, I think the Clash is good, but then the new black with red detail Clash is good anyway. What's the real world difference between the Extreme Pro and Radical Pro? Jess, it's a good question, and I'm going to be honest with you, I don't really know. It's a video that we've been wanting to do, and we've been waiting to get this Radical Pro to sort of complete the Pro set. And so it's on our list to do a head Pro kind of exploratory review video of which, because obviously the Pro rackets are aimed at a very specific style of player and type of player, but which one should you pick between Radical, Extreme, Speed, Boom? Is that all of them? It's probably more. Gravity.
Don't forget that.
It's going to be quite the video. It's going to be Joe's going to hate editing it. It's going to be very long. But I think it's interesting to see how would you suit between them, and would you move between them? Head Speed MP Legend, the best all-round racket. Why the Legend? Why not the normal one? They do play very slightly differently, but I mean very slightly. But it's good. Missing the Prestige Pro. Yeah, I thought it, but then it's, yeah, as you say, it is very different. A fair comparison to those, you're probably looking at like a Prestige MP or something. Although we do love the Prestige Tour here. I think it's a very good racket. Underrated. String recommendations. The Gravity Tour needs more spin. Yeah, I agree, the Gravity Tour. Oh, and that's the old one. Oh, get the new one, Elmo. Yeah, obviously the old one was 100 square inch head, so getting spin shouldn't be such a challenge with the 1820 string pattern. But any sort of spin string is going to help. So obviously our Restring Zero comes to the top of my mind as an option, but there's lots of things to get. Sorry, I'm just looking at some comments. I've missed some. Is a Pure Aero coming later this year? No. Prestige Tour is my current racket. I just wish it had a larger head size. So yeah, Head and the Prestige range kind of had a bit of a joke with everyone and went, let's make 4 rackets with no similarities, different head sizes, different balance points, different swing weights, different total weights. I mean, different is a mess. So it's definitely not as simple to be able to go, I can move from the Tour up to the Pro and I'll just change one thing. No, it changes everything. But that's just how they did it. So yeah, I agree, the Tour is better. If it was like a 98, it'd be amazing. So I'll pass that on to Head for you when I'm next in Austria. I'll take you up on that. Here we go, Tanny. Someone else. It was Blackbird that asked, but Tanny has jumped ahead of you with what they're looking for. 24 years old, 4 to 4.5, so decent player, all court, Hyper G lover, shape strings are my go-to. Cool, 2-handed backhand. Hit flat. If you hit flat, why do you want a shape string? Maybe you should consider tweaking that. If you tend to hit more flatter. Finesse shots and touch, again, why do you want a shaped string? A shaped harsh string like Hyper G, you're going to lose some touch. So that's an interesting choice. But if you're saying that, no, that is my string and I don't want to change, I'm looking at a racket. Well, as soon as you are playing all court, and you're looking at kind of finesse and touch, as you say, you're into the families of things like blades, I would say, and an 1820 blade on that, so I would definitely be getting you to try that. The Gravity Tour 98, I'd be getting you to try that. How about in terms of power, you're looking to get, do you need more help, something stiffer? That's the sort of thing that you should be sort of considering. If you wanted to go really into the feel on that style of racket, you'd start to push into Percepts. We only have 1 minute left. Wow, this has gone very fast. Blackbird, I bought a few rackets from your store now. Thanks, Blackboard. E-Zone Tour and Pure Drive. I did love the Yonex, but you gave me shoulder pain. Interesting. Back to Percept. As I was just saying, Percept's so forgiving, so that makes sense. I'm hoping to find a racket that has good topspin and some weight behind the ball. I'm too used to the Percept 320 grams. Yeah, get another racket that feels better, put a leather grip on it, put some tungsten putty in the handle, we can do that for you, and just increase the total mass. I'm fully on board with that, but you still get the flexibility and you won't get the shoulder pain, hopefully. How do you compare Head Hawk with Polytour Strike? Yeah, so Polytour Strike is one of my favourite strings. Head Hawk I haven't used, but Head Hawk Touch I find too controlly / maybe less powerful because of that. So that'd be my only thing, but yeah, I don't know Head Hawk specifically. There's so many strings to know. Hyper G round, yeah, exactly, that's what I'm saying. Trying some round strings would be good. Shift versus Puro 98. Shift colorway gives me a second. Oh, you like the Shift colorway. If you happen to be in the UK, 25% off today. And here it is, navy. Beautiful. Shift versus Pure Aero. Try the Pure Aero earlier. Yeah, if you've got maybe the Shift is softer, less harsh, more flexible than the Pure Aero, so there will be some people who prefer it. Is there a way to measure swing weight without an expensive machine? You get somebody who's got an expensive machine and then it's not expensive. But there are some cheaper ones. I don't know how accurate they are that do it. But I have seen some people with some weird ones, and yeah, it just like clamps on the back. But yeah, find an expert like us if you're in the UK. And we'll always, if someone comes to us to purchase a racket and specifically says, "Oh, can we find the one with this particular swing weight, or can we kind of measure the 3 or 4 or 5 we've got and pick the one?" We always do that where we can, so it's always worth asking. Tanny will check out the blade, currently on new ISO 98 and pretty good. Yeah, so Tanny, if I'm honest with you, some of the things, yeah, even that, on how you describe your play with the racket choice, yeah, a little interesting. Although, yeah, the ISO 98 of all of them would be fits better. If you'd said like an ISO 100, I'd have been like, you're crazy. But yeah, trying out the blade would be definitely a good shout, and also the Gravity Tour. Joe is waving arms at me, saying we're going to finish. Before we finish, let's have a final look while we're here today. The new Wilson Roland Garros range. The blade 1619 in a lovely orange colour. The Shift in a new Session de Soirée night session in the lovely blue. And as we said, someone said the Sam beige vibes from the V-Core in the Wilson Clash. So there you have it. Three new Wilson options. Last comment. Will he go back to the blade? I don't know. Who knows? And if he did, yeah, would he use this one? Potentially. But there you have it. Thanks very much for watching. We will see you next week, live, same time.